Hello everyone! Today we continue working with the classic jacket. Last time I showed you how to change a basic pattern into one for a classic jacket for women. I realized that I need to show you some moments of designing more thoroughly. It's very easy to change my basic pattern. My bust is wider than hips. Have a look at this basic pattern. In this case, hips are wider than bust. Notice that not only side seam, but also this part should be made wider. When making a side detail instead of a side seam, I will need to make an opening which is as wide as these two openings. I've decided to show you not only how to make a side detail, but what else you can do with a side seam in a classic jacket. Have a look at the pattern. It should be changed a bit. Don't make such sharp angles in basic patterns. Our bodies are smooth. I'm talking about these angles at the bottom. Make lines more round, just like our bodies are. First, I'll show you how to make a side detail for a body with wide hips. Don't make wide side details. They don't fit and look good. I'm making these lines more smooth as always. The back one is higher than the front one. I also need to move the tucks to the lines. This is the side detail. I'm not going to make this side seam. You need to make more beautiful lines. What about the hips? 3 centimeters and one more here. I need to make this detail 4 centimeters wider. I'll show you how to do it. We don't need this opening, because we'll make 2 ones here and here. Side detail should be made wider this way. This is how it looks like now. Lines should be round and beautiful. I need to make the back and the front wider too. I don't need this tuck anymore. Of course, you should make more beautiful lines. It's not convenient to draw on a board. Have a look here. These are not the openings. These details cross. Front and side, side and back. We split this opening into 2. This is the front. There will be a pocket 5 centimeters down from the waistline. A tuck will go up from this point. I hope that everything is clear so far. If hips were wider, we would make these details wider too. Now I'll show you 2 more options. This is the same pattern. Now I need to move the side seam closer to the back detail. The armhole is 13.6 centimeters wide, so move the side seam 4.5 centimeters away from the far left point. This is how I move the side seam. I don't need this one anymore. I'm not showing you another way to make a side detail instead of a side seam. I show you the other way to make a classic jacket. Different bodies require different sewing techniques. This is where the side seam is now. Next, I need to draw a princess seam on the front. Princess seam doesn't have to be placed within the armhole width. Don't make a princess seam too close to a tuck. It won't look good. The side seam is straight, and the princess seam is round at the top. I need to make a tuck on it. Do not forget about pockets. Princess seam shouldn't cross them. It won't look good. This is the princess seam, and this is the side seam. Here it is. I'm not going to make this tuck, so I need to draw a new one here on the seam. I remind you that this is the side seam and this is the princess seam. Anyway, I need to remember that the hips are wider than the bust, so the details will cross in the basic pattern. Have a look here. The side seam, which was moved to the back, and the princess seam will make an item fit the body perfectly. You can make these tuck if you need to. This distance is very convenient for making a pocket. Notice that the details cross just like in the side detail. Anyway, this is not a side detail anymore. This is a side seam which was moved to the back, and the princess seam on the front. This technique is very convenient. It's especially good for those who have big bust. This princess seam will make an item fit a body perfectly. Now I'll show you the third option. A side seam should not be moved. You need to make a princess seam on the front and a princess seam on the back. That means that you'll have 3 seams. This technique is especially good for those who have slim waists and wide hips. I'm drawing a princess seam on the back. Don't make it too close to the tuck. This is the first princess seam. And now I'll draw the second one on the front. The thing is that these details shouldn't be too wide. If you make a princess seam closer to a center front, it would spoil the view. This is the first princess seam, and this is the second one. This is the side seam. Now I need to divide this difference in 3 parts. So I add 7 mm to each side of the seams. Have a look here. The difference is much smaller here now. Of course, you need to make more beautiful lines. I'm just showing you the technique. I also need to move the tucks to the princess seams. I'm not going to make this tuck. These are the 3 parts where the details cross. I remind you that your pattern may look absolutely different. It depends on your measurements. In all the 3 options I showed you, a dot on the front should go up from a pocket. Today I showed you how to change a basic pattern to make a jacket fit your body perfectly. You can use any of the options I showed you. Choose the one which is perfect for you. That's all for today. Be different and beautiful. My name is Paukšte Irina. Guys, please subscribe to my channel, write comments, share videos, and press the like button. I really need your support. Thank you. Goodbye.